Hello everybody, and welcome to a new video. I know, crazy. Madness. Insanity. Yes, Koopa is making another video. Hold your horses, I know. Seriously, I know it's been like 6 months. I don't have a reason for it. I guess I just haven't really felt like recording. I think that's what I said the last time I started a new series. Anyway, yeah, we're back in Hoi4 though. Bit different this time, but we're back in the same game. My last series, I don't even think I finished. I think one of the video got messed up, and so there wasn't any actual footage. It was just all audio. So hopefully that won't happen. I have a new microphone. I don't know how it sounds. I'm gonna take a guess. I know it works, obviously, but yes, new headset, new game. Well, same game, new mod. But yeah, so hopefully I'm gonna keep this going. I don't know. This is kind of just something I thought up on the spot. So knowing me, it's probably gonna be one episode, and then you'll never hear from me again. But yeah, so my new series idea that might not actually come into fruition is a tour of Russia, essentially, in Hoi4, The New Order. The New Order is an Axis victory scenario. There's a bunch of other stuff to it. I'll get into it once I actually, like, play. But basically, my idea is to go through every Russian unifier on this mod. Not every path for every unifier, but just play each unifier, try to make them different, and then that's it. Obviously, it will take me a while. This mod has like 10 years of content per country, and that's just Russia. If I wanted to like get into Germany or the UK or anything, like that would be a whole nother system. So for now, at least, I'm gonna play the West Russian Revolutionary Front, since this is the first unifier in the order. If this continues and I do really good and like I succeed in this one, then I'll go to Samara and play as them and do one of their paths, and then I'll go to Komi, I think is next, and I'll do one of their paths, and I'll go to Vietka, and then to, I don't remember what the next one is, Omsk and Taiman and Sverdlovsk, and I can't pronounce any of these, so bear with me. Tomsk, and then the Black Army, and Kermov, and Novosibirsk, and all that. Right. I'm not going to go through all of them right now, obviously. Anyway, yes, so that is my outline. Will it happen? I have no clue. Will people watch this? Probably not. That's okay. I don't expect people to watch this. This is just for fun because I'm bored. Yes, so, what was my next point? I don't remember. Let's start. So, I know this has already been done. Bear with me as well. I know that people have already played through Russian unifiers and everything, especially since TNO is a very popular mod, even though it's a very niche community of Soviet, pro-Soviet, pro-German, all this mixture in a mod about what if everything went perfectly for the Axis in World War II. It's a weird thing, but we're here. I'm gonna pause the music because I don't want to get copyrighted. No, I will probably have some tunes going and whatnot, because why not? Again, nothing really is going to be that much different from any of my normal videos, but yeah. So, also there's gonna be a lot of reading. I have some thing to drink off to the side, so if I stop and take a drink, then that's why. Again, this is a lot of reading, so, and I'm not used to talking this much, so, you know, bear with me. So, we're gonna start out with the West Revolutionary Front. The Great Patriotic War against the fascist invaders cost the Soviet people everything, and then some. The Nazis employed unimaginable cruelty in this crusade against Soviet civilization itself, to the extent where no single man or woman could name someone close to them who had been cruelly torn apart for the hands of the Hitlerites. In the muddled anarchy after the total collapse of the central government authority, the remnants of the Red Army in the West reorganized in the city of... Oh, yeah, also, I don't know how to pronounce anything in Russian, so even if it's Americanified, or Englishified, rather. So, Kayubuskev, I fucking know that that's terrible, but still. Under the leadership of Grand Marshal Clement Yefremovich Voroshilov, across the former territories of the Soviet Union, Loyal Red Army units flocked to his banner, including the 6th and the 9th Army under Marshals Mikhail Tukhachevsky and Georgy Zhukov, respectively. With these powerful mechanized forces in alliance with prominent political figures such as Mikhail Suslov, the newly formed West Russian Revolutionary Front was able to exert authority over all the shattered remnants of the Union, which remained west of the Urals. In the 1950s, with the Reich paralyzed with the deadliest economic crash in history, the Red Army only became more eager to avenge their defeat. Marshal Voroshilov decided that the time had come to launch Operation Susorov, the liberation of all Soviet lands currently occupied by German forces. Despite Lazar Kagnovich refusing to commit forces from the West Siberian People's Republic to the operation, the Red Army's advance was swift and brutal. Voroshilovgrad was liberated on the 28th of the operation, prompting an attempted coup by the SS under Heinrich Himmler. Spurred by the infighting within the enemy's ranks, the Red Army troops reached the outskirts of Leningrad and Moscow by day 40. Riding high on the wave of success, few noticed the cracks that had formed within the front's political structure over the years. The Russian war remains unknown. The exact cause of this ingration of the front during the West Russian War remains unknown, with theories ranging from an attempted seizure of power by Suslov to the breakdown in the critically overextended command structure, facing threats of security of the military leadership in the face of the renewed German offensive, employing the collaborationist forces of the Russian Liberation Army and Vladimir Romanov. The government was it's been a while since I've read this much. Relocated to the city of Skitskar. I know, amazing pronunciation. Following the political turmoil and the string of defeat at the hands of the army, the Republic of Komi succeeded from the front, and subsequent string of defections and successions marked the end of the West Russian War and the death of the West Russian Revolutionary Front, or so the Germans thought. The front lives on, clinging to life among the permafrost tundra around the embattled city of Arkhangelsk, and its generals bitterly divided after the catastrophic failure of Operation Susorov. To the south of the to the south sit the military districts of Plitsk and Ukhta, ostensibly loyal vassals trusted with the management of the front's anti-aircraft defenses against the German terror bombings and the upkeep of the oil fields, respectively. However, these domains serve a very different purpose: to keep Tukhachevsky and Zhukov and all the factional politics that follow them far, far away from the leadership of Arkhangelsk. Marshals Mikhail Tukhachevsky and Georgy Zhukov are widely considered to be two potential successors in the event of Voroshilov's untimely death. Tukhachevsky is talented, if somewhat eccentric officer who believes the role of the Red Army as a primary driver of political change. A former noble who turned against the conformity of his class to join the Bolsheviks in the Civil War, Tukhachevsky has gained support in a number of elements within the front who wish to avoid the mistakes made by Bukharin and return the USSR to its former military glories and beyond. With every cog inside its machine turning towards one singular goal, every soldier marching towards final victory. Zhukov is a talented and popular commander who received fame and admiration amongst his men from the Civil War in Operation Susorov, leading to the liberation of Voroshilovgrad, together with Marshal Momutshli. While Zhukov is fiercely loyal to the communist cause, his clique has attracted the attention of some reform-minded figures such as Alexander Yakovlev and Nikolai Rezkov, with many of the hardliners unaffiliated with Tukhachevsky's faction, such as Sergei Arkamenkev. Now, in 1962, the front situation is a precarious one. Beyond the territories controlled by Arkhangelsk lie statelets run by illegitimate secessionists, collaborators, czarists, and other contenders. Only time will tell if the front will regain its position as a defender of Western Russia and potentially reunite the motherland and avenge those who fell to deliver justice upon Germany. So, that was very long, I am sorry. But, yes, we will be able to choose who succeeds, to unite Russia, and then eventually turn our eyes to the West. Again, sorry that was so long. I want to actually read most things that happen, because it's something I normally don't do when I'm playing this. But, which means that this is probably going to be a long series. Maybe things will change as I play more, but our first one is enduring. Yeah, so basically, because that was very long, we unified all of Western Russia at one point. We attacked into Germany. We had a big political collapse. the Germans started winning, and then we fell apart. And here we are. We got good old Clement Voroshilov, who I'll talk about while we're waiting for things to happen. I'm going to research new guns. We're going to know better computing. We need to make guns. Let's get PPSHs, anti-tank, support equipment. Oh, howitzers, and hold on. Let's look at our army before we finish up this last one. And we do need motorized. That's what I want to know. So now we need trucks. Civilian factories, we're just going to work on more civilian factories. That's good for now. Other things, while I'm getting set up, I have a state tool, or not a state tool, this is a toolkit, for whenever we get past the content of the warlord. If I decide that we're going to invade Germany or whatever, I'll probably do it for this one. Maybe not for, like, the next few, but we'll see. Depends. If it fits into the lore, then yes. Let's go to 5 speed, and let's go. So, yes. So, in this one, because I know that Zhukov is the more popular marshal to go with in this, mod. Oh, actually, here, let's steal some forces here. Expand the Red Army a little bit. Because I know that he is the more popular marshal, I'm going to go with Tukhachevsky. I know people, again, I think I've already said this, but I'm well aware that a lot of people have done, playthroughs of this. Like, I'm very well aware of that. So, this isn't going to be anything unique, but I want to try something a little different, because, like, Samara, I know that we're not playing them right now, but normally, the joke route, like, the best route is to go with, the democracy. The joke route is to go with the, German puppet, so maybe I'll go with the general whenever I play them, right? So I want to go with something that's not as popular. Like, I might not even play both, Arutska and Bryatka. Oh, here, let's read this. Of all the tales in the Russian anarchy, there stands but one that is spread from the frozen lands of the Far East to the city of Kostroma in the west. Oh gosh, a lot is happening. I forgot that we're playing on 5 speed. I'm gonna summarize this. Basically, there's a man who wanders the east who might be a Soviet soldier, might not, we don't know, but, you know, he's here, and people find hope in him, and it is a interesting story, if nothing else. So, maybe there's some cool Russian soldier or American volunteer or someone who's wandering around liberating people. Or maybe not. Okay, we also have that to read. I think what I'll probably do is I'll summarize most of these. And I'll have them paused if you want to read them. So, what happened first? Assassins strike at Hitler. Hitler's still alive, by the way. He's chilling. Hello, Mr. Schmittler. Hopefully I don't get taken down for showing his face. I know that YouTube is a little sensitive on that. Anyway, yes. So, who killed him? We don't really know. A house divided? That might be a good sign. The Revolution's Northern Star. So this is kind of a rework, or what we read at the beginning. Basically, we are in the north. Onwards, comrades. We view ourselves as the only hope, as the true heirs to the army, that we should be the ones to reunite Russia, right? Whether we're going to be doing that in a wonderful way and everything is going to be great, or we're going to put it under a new military district and kill everyone, right? Which we're probably going to go with the militarist one. Okay, so Hitler names Bormann his successor. I'm going to keep it going just because, you know. But, yes, Martin Bormann, the normal one, is going to be the successor to Hitler and most likely will succeed in that. It's better than Hermann Göring or Heinrich Himmler, or not Heinrich Himmler, Reinhard Heydrich. So, you know, could be worse. Though, to be fair, in our expansion, we'd probably rather have someone like Heydrich in, because he would have fractured the Germans. Who knows? Also, let me check the time, so, sorry, I gotta tab out. Okay, we are 14 minutes in. Okay, we got plenty of time. So, we had done the failure... No, we're doing the failures of Barbarossa. Oh. Mysterious encounter. Ah, okay. Our, to the east, there's a bandit group. I think this is to the east. Oh, and this is another thing. But yeah, to the east, one of our guards fought someone, and we stopped them from raiding our garrison. So this is another thing. This is something neat that is put in. So one of the leaders in Tomsk of the social democracy is Dmitry. Hold on, what is his full name? Maybe it doesn't say. I'm blanking out on the guy's name. Anyway, he was a musician in the Soviet Union. He was in the Siege of Leningrad. He's pretty famous about it, or from that, and he also very good music. But in real life, him and Tukhachevsky had a good relationship. Tukhachevsky obviously died in our reality, so their relationship never really went anywhere because, you know, can't exactly have a relationship with a dead man. But failures of Barbarossa, we'll get another pop-up from that. But basically Tukhachevsky's this has gone to that they still write letters to each other in, you know, as friends do. So basically Tukhachevsky's complaining because Susorov was a complete failure. He'd rather be writing from Moscow, the village, and that he is upset that the careerist militants are taking advantage of the situation, and that Voroshilov isn't listening to him, and he feels like he's right. Stressful days. All right, a toast. Let's start a new focus. And we're going to get a lot less pop-ups the further that we get in. I think the West Revolutionary Front has probably the most content, but we will eventually run out of these. So, this is an old captain relaying his message about the Great Patriotic War. He was there at Kiev, at Kursk, at Voroshilovgrad, and then at Moscow. Defeat after defeat after defeat. Okay, here's our response from Dmitry Shoshkanovich. I'm sorry, I'm really bad at naming our names, so I embrace the terribleness. The Germans, they had tanks and planes and self-propelled artillery and rocket launchers and all that other shit. What did we have? Half our men didn't even have a rifle. Yeah, we still put up a good fight. Many young men, just like you, died in those days. Died fighting for every inch of Russian soil. We lost those Nazi dogs, and because of it, we are here today, still alive, still fighting. For the brave boys of the Red Army. Yes. So we still remember our defeat as a minor victory in our own way. It's good to hear from you. I admit I've not been paying attention to what is happening beyond the Urals. And so, obviously, I don't know what happened in Central Russia. We'll learn whenever we play them. Because obviously things got fractured. But, basically, he's been worried more about what's going on in his area. He advises caution. Venting is healthy, but so I will not discourage you from that. On that front, however, please ensure that you will not lose yourself in the frustrations. A man in your position would do well to keep a cool head, who's easy to commit evil deeds on the field of battle in a bout of wild rage. Take care. Yeah, no, as someone who has done a decent bit of research into Soviet history and whatnot, and specifically with the Red Army, Tukhachevsky is, it's too bad that we don't know as much as, like, we could about him, because so much of the information that we have that we could have has been destroyed because he was purged. But from the snippets, you either get the story of a man who is so focused on war and the military expansion of the Soviet Union, or you have, and I mean that is to be fair, that is a very good portrayal of him, in the sense of that's how he thought about the military. But when you look at his personal life, though he had his issues, obviously everyone does, in many senses he was kind of a soft man. Not to say that he was good, because I know that he can be portrayed as, like, this amazing general who, if he hadn't died, everything would have been great and everything. I'm gonna take a break to read this, or some of this. Boris and Pavel Harry. Oh, this is from a man in the army. I dreamed about it last night, and then the same as always I had the night before. Waves of good men slaughtered like wheat against a sickle, or a scythe rather. Fields of burning tank hulls, spewing smoke and burning, screaming bodies. A whole generation of Russians lost in a madman's gambit. So he obviously does not like the high command. Clement Voroshilov, Clement the Grand Marshal, the hero of Tsaritsyn, Clement the twice failure of Finland, and Suvorov, and 100 more battles that fucking Tsaritsyn, always Tsaritsyn. My hands are stained with more blood than all my generals combined, and not even alcohol could wash it away. So, obviously, okay, so I'll finish up my rant about Tukhachevsky. I'm sure you'll get more of them. But, yes, since there isn't as much information about him as there could be, there's a lot of, like, who really was he? I tend to think of him as not like a genius, general who never made a mistake or anything, but, like, he was a pioneer in some aspects that eventually would lead the Soviet Union to success, in World War II, and then also as a man who cared greatly for some of the people around him, but was also very distant. To his close family, he loved them very much, but to others, he was very, very distant from them. Janitor of the Floor 7 of the West Revolutionary Central Committee headquarters in Arkhangelsk. It's gonna be who to chew on. Being a grunt has a perk, so he's listening on the issues of the front. Oh, yes, so this is probably something that we should do. We have warlord development, so let me do that. We gotta invest in infrastructure, invest in our industry, and scavenge for loot. And we look here. If you don't know how TNO works, this is a little rundown. We have all these societal developments as we spend loot, and eventually our money, once we become an actual, like, power, these will start going up. We'll get out of this 50 to 80% poverty rate, because that's pretty bad. And, not have widespread issues, yeah. We have a lot of them. Okay, so Edward VIII was almost assassinated. Apparently God was fond of the king this day. Oh, let's see. Should I go with... Let's go 30 minutes. I'm trying to figure out how long I want to do this. So we got another 10 minutes. That's good. Sorry, again, this is going to be... as the first episode of this and me coming back, I'm going to try to take this a little slow. I probably should have said that at the beginning. But, hopefully you'll find this a bit interesting, because I have stuff to talk about, because I kind of know stuff about this. Okay, so we're about to choose who's going to take over, and then we also need to deal with this. But, hopefully we'll be able to deal with it. Yeah, so, okay. A kingdom with an heir invites chaos throughout... Oh, gosh, okay. Yeah, so we're choosing a successor. We're gonna go with the Red Napoleon. Let's continue. Nixon vetoes the Civil Rights Act. And Red Bonaparte. Okay. So, America obviously wasn't... well, it was affected by World War II greatly, but not in the same way. Actually, I should have... You know what? Next episode, between now and next episode, I'm gonna unite these areas. I normally do it when I play multiplayer. I normally play with a friend, and when we do that, it's better to have it because it reduces lag. So maybe I can speed it up a little bit, even though I'm not super worried about it. Maybe some less time between our wars and whatnot. I'm not gonna read all of this either, but okay. Basically, Tukhachevsky was inspecting some units, not very good because we're a warlord state. They're not exactly the best. And so he's trying to whip him into shape, and doing so, proving that he is a tough guy and can run real fast even if he's old. We're gonna train our troops. Yeah. So TNO, I was gonna go on about Voroshila, but I'm gonna talk about the mod first. It's a good mod. If you have Hoi4, I recommend that you try it out. Because Zhukov's making moves. I gotta make moves. Or Tukhachevsky does. Let's meet with some veterans. It's Operation Firebird. Oh, the oil wells. Okay. We're not going to do the oil wells right now. We'll publish a military theory, and we'll probably meet with Voroshilov. Okay. That's going to have a lot of stuff happen, but anyway. Yeah, so basically with TNO, I really like the mod. I have my issues with it, which I'll get into. I'll try not to spend too long ranting about it, but knowing me, I will. But basically, how I consider it is that it's a good mixture of, it focuses a lot on the lore and the story of the New Order, which is good. My issue with it, though, is that I think that it falls a little bit, and I'm going to do this. No, I need to deal with our agricultural insecurity right now. Oh, and here, speaking of which, this is going to be quick because we're almost out of time for this episode. Basically, we're all starving to death because we're in Arkhangelsk. Not exactly the most wonderful place around. And, because of that, people have food lines and are trying to get as much food as they can. And this is a story. Hold on, let's get Tukhachevsky off to the side. Basically this woman is trying to get extra food for her family because her husband works in a factory, so obviously he needs his food to keep going so they can have money, and her son is sick, so he also needs more food, which might mean that she doesn't have enough food, but she's trying to get a new garden. So people are working through it, though life is not great. Oh boy, this is wonderful. So this is Tukhachevsky complaining about everything. Basically, he's blaming on Suslov and Zhukov, that we were doing great, but if it wasn't for Zhukov, who had the greatest immaturity and made numerous anticipated strategic blunders, who would have been great, and Suslov was a traitor because he was trying to take power, and he shouldn't have been doing that. And he's mainly blaming Zhukov because he did not care about his strategy, and if it hadn't, I would be writing victory memoirs in Moscow rather than defeat ones in defeat in Arkhangelsk. We were that close. So Tukhachevsky's a bit of a complainer. Let's appease Zhukov. Let's do it. It is in our favor, but that might change. I could work against him and work with him at the same time. Yeah, so my issue with TNO, though, I was getting to, is that I think that it characterizes historical figures a bit too easily. That's something that I've noticed with the community overall, and, like, I will participate in my fair memes of TNO because they're funny, and I don't have an issue really with that aspect of everything. Let's do some new worker. Well, agriculture, right? We're already having issues with that. And let's do a raid on Onega, because... Actually, let's do half. We need to split our army in half. and send 6 of them over there, and prepare a raid out, and they spent their stuff. Okay. Anyway, yes, so I think that it kind of characterizes certain people. I've seen, like, the West Revolutionary Front is probably one of the bigger examples of it. I mean, Omsk is kind of the same, Vietka, similar. All of them are very similar in that sense. Actually, probably, I think they already lost, but one of the unifiers in the Far East, yeah, Sablin, I think he also gets kind of characterized a bit too much as well. Oh, let's pause. Okay, military factories. I'm going to pump them into guns, because I'd like my divisions to be a little bit bigger. But doing so, you have people like Tukhachevsky, who is, to be fair, it is fair to say that he complained a lot. As a field marshal, he did complain a lot about his, the failures of Poland and things like that he participated in that probably could be blamed on him. But he kind of was like, no, it's not my fault. Okay, hold on, let's get to this. So, Tukhachevsky and Voroshilov are meeting. They are talking about an invasion of Onega. Hit them with artillery for a short time before several mass attacks on their border posts. Tukhachevsky knew what he was testing him. He cannot hold himself back. Are you sure that would give them time to prepare? I see a position our men in hidden positions nearby, doing a short mortar attack before ordering mass assault offensives. Seems to be a pretty similar idea here. This had been a test, but Tukhachevsky would not back down. Basically, they are just arguing between each other about their very similar strategies. And then both, they don't like the way that the other is trying to run the army. And, you know, that's not great. And so this is also, we're running out of food. This is basically what this is getting to. This is talking about a officer and how he's saying that the food stockpile level is not very high and it would last not very long. But proper numbers were very critical because they're completely running out of food. But that will change. We will fix it. Do not worry. The People's Revolutionary Council has defeated. Okay. A lot is happening. So, Italy's faction has just collapsed, which makes sense. The Mongolian Civil War was won by the Red Army. So, wonderful. Hopefully we'll be able to meet them and they won't die. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so, you know, you have men like Tukhachevsky who, you know, in reality were very, I mean, everyone overall, in history cannot simply be, defined as good and bad, right? That isn't how humans are. Obviously, there's some terrible people, but even those terrible people, there's something about them that made them do it, or something along those lines. And Tukhachevsky, in this case, is portrayed as the militarist, and how he just wants to, you know, kill the Germans and all that, in the sense of, like, he's preparing for a war and nothing else, right? Zhukov is similar, but he's we gotta take Moscow, which, you know, that's fair enough, again, like, most likely in the case, as how he was in real life, he probably would have been very committed to the army. And here are the poster in Arkhangelsk about what the Red Army's duty is. The revolution continues its sacred war. Every sacrifice to the motherland is an inch each to victory. But we're losing stability from that, because we're just telling everyone to fight harder and win. And I've pushed over on my time, so I'm going to end it here. Sorry this episode was a lot longer. I'm hoping that this will be enjoyable, though, because it's not going to be the normal, at least for my normal playstyle of Hoi4. We got a war, that's it, really. So I'm going to be spending more time about the events and the story and whatnot, and things may change if I do this with other countries, but we shall see. Anyway, yes, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm back. Hopefully I'll do more videos. I'll try to get like one of these out maybe every day or so. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.